The board of the 2010 FIFA World Cup Legacy Trust met in January 2013 to approve the allocation of funds to successful applicants to the trust. More than 4,000 applications were received from football structures and clubs across the country, and the board approved over 900 applications, of which 800 were for clubs and schools. An amount of 56 million rand of the 450 million rand invested by FIFA was allocated for football development, to NGOs who use football for community development and for bursaries to individuals who serve football.
FIFA had agreed that after the tournament that whatever money was left, they would agree once we set up a trust that they will transfer those funds into the trust. An amount of 450 million rand was transferred. And today, after we opened the applications in April 2012, and having received the applications after the closing of all the applications in September 2012, the board set and received those applications recommended for consideration at the board meeting today. The board dealt with all of the applications, and I'm not going to deal with the detail because we'll see the detail later, but a total amount of 56 million rand was made available, and this money will go for football development. The LFAs of SAFA, the regions of SAFA, women's football, referees training, coaches, administration training, this is where the money will go. In addition to that, the establishment of 2 leagues, under 13 leagues at the level of the LFAs going through the regions, and as well as an under 15 league.
The bulk of the funding was allocated to SAFA for a major national program that sees all the SAFA local football associations rolling out under 13 and under 15 leagues for boys and girls, which will culminate in a national tournament of the best talent in each province. The national coach Gordon Nigesund and the national captain Itumeleng Khune were special guests at the launch of this national initiative.
We expect that in every one of the LFAs there'll be under 13 and under 15 boys and girls playing, and the vision is to go on to a regional tournament, provincial tournament, select 1,000 players out of that will be monitored, will be fed into provincial academies, national academies, so we have a feeder for under 17 national teams.
The development of coaches will be central to the program. The aim is to ensure that coaches from grassroots to high performance level will all be coaching according to a common South African football philosophy, thus creating consistency throughout all football structures.
What should our philosophy be as South Africans? And that technical master plan emphasized that point. And we said for that to happen, you need to have abundance in terms of coaches. So that when you have numbers on the ground and you taught them the style, they'll then begin to educate the youth along those lines. Without coaches, whatever you're having is a pipe dream. And we are saying, in the next 10 years, our plan out of the technical master plan is to develop nothing less than 150,000 coaches. Dr. Robin Peterson has to go out and look for the funding besides the legacy fund of nothing less than 200 to 300 million rands from CSI fundings. And I must tell you, the goodwill out there, it's so positive. And everybody's saying, we were looking for this kind of setup. We are ready to come on board. And we want to see this happening because that is the only way we believe we'll be able to turn our fortunes around.
Futsal is being regarded as an important component of football development in any country, and the Trust has allocated funds towards the establishment of a national futsal league. The administrators of the league plan to fashion it on the Premier Soccer League, using that as a model.
Today, we are present at the launch of the National Futsal League, which is basically a league consisting of 8 teams throughout the country. Not all provinces are at this stage involved, but this is really the start of it. And we're happy that they are very realistic in terms of they roll it out. It is only 8 teams. And at the end of the day, we would want to see this program grow into a fully fledged national tournament, national league involving all provinces, consisting maybe 20 or 16 teams, whatever is best in terms of the format that they want.
My concern is that in the various LFAs, more than 300 LFAs in the country, if they can start playing futsal rather than the 11-a-side game, then the rural areas will be covered in terms of this game. It can be played without indoor facilities. It can be played outside on any field. If you take a normal size soccer field, if you divide it into four, you have 4 quarters, the game can be played along those lines. So you don't need indoor centers. So the game can be played in rural areas. As I've indicated before, it is SAFA's responsibility for development, and I'm hoping that I can convince them through our association that this game of futsal can be played in the rural areas and the urban areas for all of the kids of our country, both boys and girls of all ages, and both in the rural and urban areas.
We have our regional league now, and the way the regional league is going to be worked is going to be a feeder for your nationals. So I'm actually the chairman of the regional committee in Pietermaritzburg. So this is where we select players as a feeder for your nationals. And in that league, we will be assessing players from different teams. And obviously, if players are good enough, then we'll get them a shot at the nationals.
The Trust funded the SAFA Regional League for Women, from which the best under-19 girls in each province were selected. These teams participated in the national tournament, which kicked off on National Women's Day in Kroonstad.
This tournament is the Under-19 National Championship, where all 9 provinces were presented. These girls were chosen from a league that the Trust Fund called the SAFA Regional League. So they were taken from that league, which is still ongoing, and from here these girls have represent all the provinces, and particularly the Under-19 girls.
Today we are here to try and identify talent. Thanks to SAFA for making this tournament for these under-19 girls. We trying to get a talent for the under-17 national team, under-20, and Banyana. Eventually we need to have a strong development so that our teams, all the teams that I've mentioned, can play well, because if you remember in 2010, our under-17 qualified for the World Cup, first time ever. And now we need to progress from that. And Banyana in 2012 played in the Olympics. We also need to progress. We need to make sure that women's football in South Africa improves a lot and we can play against all the other countries.
If I look at the game that we're currently watching, there's some talented players, but if I look at structurally, physically, the players are still very, very underdeveloped. When they come to the academy, where I'm the head coach, I've got to spend almost 1 year. It takes a very long time, and we're working on a long-term athletic program, 3 to 5 years, where you can actually physically build the player. And then I also think of, and one thing I think the players also need is proper nutrition. You know, you need 3 good meals. So I look at the talent that we have, and I have to look and see, can we still build this player? What is it that she can give me? If she's got all the talent and the skill, that is basically the first requirement. Then I would most probably take her. And then I can most probably then build the other things and start making a national team player.
Gauteng won the overall tournament for the 4th successive year by beating KwaZulu-Natal in the finals in a tough game.
Build up to this tournament, it was to take it for the 2nd time and for the 3rd time. And what we did in training, we told ourselves that we are going to build from the back and do attacking in advance.
Yeah, it was a tough one. We met at Pretoria and we started training there. Every Wednesdays and Saturdays we train. Yeah, it was quite tough, but then we managed.
The KZN team, it gave me a tough time, and if I had to say again, gave my girls a chance to run. Though the officials were not on our side, but we have to keep ahead, and my girls told them that they must play the ball and forget about officials. They must play their roles, and the official must play their role.
Tournament was fun, and the easiest team we played against was Limpopo, and then the hardest team was KZN in the final. We were tired, and yeah, didn't sleep well last night, so
According to the members of the Legacy Trust Board, investing in women's football is money well spent, as South Africa has an abundance of talent that just needs to be honed.
Remember that South Africa was represented in the Africa Cup of Nations for women, and our team were the runner-ups when CAF organized the competition in Equatorial Guinea. And let us also remember that in the Olympics, London, our team was there. Therefore, we are saying that football for women is in the right hands as far as the South African Football Association is concerned. And the Legacy Trust, by pumping money into the development of women. And this is money well spent.
What I can say is that if we can continue with such events and regions can continue, because sometimes the problem is they come to such events, these girls, and then when they go back, nothing is happening there. I think we just need to continue. As you know, the concept of development, it's something that needs to go ahead because it doesn't stop. When we talk development, it's continuity. So we just need to make sure that when they go back home, there's continuity in their football. They're not just being left and forget about it because they played here and they won, personal accolades, some of them, So we just need to make sure, also as an organization, as SAFA, that our regions and LFAs continue to unearth this talent and continue to develop these young girls. Eventually, I think our country can be the winner.
The main objective of the Trust is to fund projects and programs that will make an impact on South African football, that in turn will see our national teams improve their positions on the continent and on the FIFA rankings. It wants to assist SAFA in the development of a talent pipeline, which will ensure that the young players reach their full potential.